Alright, what's going on YouTube? So I am walking over to one of the places that I've been wanting to do forever, and that is the Goldfield Hotel. I don't know if you can see it, but this place has been on my to-do list forever. We are officially here. I have heard all kinds of things about it. We're gonna get into it right now. Let's go.
It was complete in 1908, and before that, they had another Goldfield hotel that was just down here a little ways. It burned to the ground twice, so when they built this, they had the intentions of making it fireproof, per se. Now, back then, we didn't have state fire inspectors came around and said, no, you can't do that. It was kind of up to the builder and the owner as to how safe or unsafe they chose to keep their buildings, basically. So they built it out of brick, mortar, rock, things like that, so it was less flammable in any way. The fire escape, so if something should happen, you could go out the window, climb down the ladder. Okay. And I'll show you some more fire stuff. At the time that it was built to be high-end, very fancy and very modern. They had their own restrooms in every room, which was unusual because back then quite often you'd have like a community bathroom that end of the hall shared, or maybe another bathroom on that end of the hall everybody shared. Pretty fancy to have your own bathroom. Hot and cold running water, which was very high tech. They had heating and lights and everything, and they had their own telephones in every room. Every owner of every era, of every time frame has decided to rearrange the room layouts of every part of it. Originally there was 150 rooms. When we cruise along, I will show you what I think is probably an original room setting still, but other than that, the rest of them are all been changed around, and I'll show you some other examples of that here in a little bit. But so they continued to operate as a hotel for several years. By the 20s and 30s, the town was supposedly running out of gold, or so the miners thought. Today, when you come from Tonopah to Goldfield, you can see how the road kind of comes out and then back around into Goldfield, right outside of town. That used to just go straight out, but in recent years they found a great big gold deposit under the highway. So they had to move the highway out and around like that. That's why it kind of curves out like that. Back then they thought they were running out of gold. So they started moving on to other mining camps and other places, and people were leaving the area. So it kind of became a flop house for wayward cowboys and miners. And then World War II kicked off. And during World War II, out at the Tonopah Airport out here, they had started the Army Air Base. Well, the Air Force was not a thing yet. They hadn't developed the Air Force. But the Army Air Base was, the Army Airmen were what they used for flights. Out here at the Tonopah Airport, they were practicing flight maneuvers for war. They were developing new bombing techniques, new bombs. The first heat-seeking missile was developed at the Tonopah Airport. But those guys brought their families, and when they had nowhere to stay, they rented out this hotel. And so the women of that era and time frame said that there was no working elevator. This elevator did not work, and everything from the kitchen was piled up inside of the elevator, and that the kitchen, there was no kitchen to use for cooking or anything like that, and there was nobody like that to cook for them. So they were cooking dinner on hot plates, which made them very unhappy. But so they were not impressed with the building. But the last people to leave after World War II, that locked the door behind them, is the last time this was a room for rent facility. That being said, there's been different owners and different people that have tried to live here or stay here and work on it or what have you. One lady stayed here with her family. She said that in the wintertime they ended up, the four of them, in one little bed in the back room on the main floor because she thought they were going to freeze to death. It was so cold in here. In the 1980s, there was a man that was purchasing the building, and he had crews in here that were working, and the first crew at one point said, you know what, we're not going back in there. Forget it. And they left. They didn't come back. The second crew was in here. They were working. Everybody thought everything was going well. One day somebody forgot something, and he said, hey, let me run back in and grab whatever. And he said that when he ran back in to grab it, there was a full bar with people, smoke, music, and drinks. And they looked at him. He ran back out the building, and he said, I am never doing that. Never going in there again. And his group said, yeah, we're with you, bro. And they left. They didn't come back. His company went bankrupt, and he did not finish working on the building. When we walk around, you'll see a lot of this stuff right here from the 1980s. They're old from the 80s, but they're not old from like the 1880s or the 1908 type of thing. So they're old, but not that old, in all actuality, all of which have never been used. He also had started to put in like a fire sprinkler system. It was never completed, and of course his not up to standard today. It would all have to be ripped back out. When Red started working on the building, like I said, he started the basement, working his way up, and so far the crews have made it to the floor below us. So this floor has the least amount of repairs and work done to it. But so this is a good example of what I mean when I say it's in a U shape. You can see that the other wing over there, which we'll go over to in a minute, there's that wing, then we were just standing right over there, and then we came around this side. When you see the gray cinder block, so that cinder block, this cinder, and outside as well. All of that is from the 1980s. I was a man in the 1980s that eventually went bankrupt, etc. This was going to be another elevator shaft here. That's what he was doing because the elevator shaft are elevators, so it can't be moved really at all. And then out here was going to be like utilities. If you look at this building here, you can see that he was going to run like a hallway across over to the utilities area from the end of this hallway. So this would have had a fire hose here. And if you should have a fire in your room, you'd connect it to the spigot, turn it on, run it down, and put out the fire. Kind of like when you see a fire extinguisher in the hallway in a hotel today. This is the famous cowboy shootout hallway. Two cowboys had a disagreement earlier in the day, and they say they settled it up here. I think both were killed. They say that one man was cheating at cards. Sometimes he is said to look around either this corner or one of those two corners over here. See if somebody is shooting at him. I thought I saw somebody move down there.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Did you see something move down there?
Yeah, there was a shadow that just kind of moved.
Yeah. And maybe it's my friend the gunslinger that is. It
was because I was gonna ask a second ago, because down that hall, there was like one of the where you can see like into the room, kind of where it's like this, you know, like you could totally see somebody like standing there, like, or you know, I was like, I wonder if which floor is like the most shadowy.
Right. So this floor does have a lot of shadowy, dark shadowies. The gunslinger is the guy that is most common up here, and he and I have recently had an agreement that he's not going to try to hurt others anymore. He has tried to choke myself and other people. And I literally stopped breathing right in back there at one time, and I definitely was being choked. I don't know how else to describe it, and it was somebody trying to stop me from breathing. And when he finally let me go, I said, "No, get away from me. You can't get out of my space. Get away from me. You're not allowed to touch me." I later came up and played cards with, or laid out cards and talked about playing poker and things, and I told him, you're not allowed to touch people and hurt people anymore. You can make your presence known, you can be blatant and obvious, but you can't hurt people. And he has choked other people as well. And actually one of my friends that was choked, while he was choking, the voice box that they had, the spirit box or whatever, said, choke, throat. It was blatantly somebody that was trying to choke him, and he just kept coughing and stuff. I felt like somebody cut off my airway for a minute. Like, it was crazy. No,
it's real that they can do that kind of stuff. Because like the Gold Hill, I haven't put this video out yet at all. When I'm sitting in my car, I'm smoking, and like obviously I cough from smoking, and stuff, but not to a point where you can't breathe all of a sudden. Right. And it, like, I mean, that's how they died. They died from, you know, smoke inhalation from the what was it, the Yellow Jacket fire. Right. And for like a good 30 seconds, like I was thinking, like, this might be it. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna suffocate right here.
Yeah, well, it's crazy.
It was funny because I had these guys that were doing an investigation or whatever, and we'd come up and just like we're doing now, and then we went down. They got it, and I came up to the top floor here with the one guy. The other guy was on the floor right below us, and we get down here, and I'm like, did I just stop and put myself against the wall? I'm like, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, and I couldn't say anything, couldn't do it, and he's like, on this radio to his friend, he's like, dude, get up here, Heather's being attacked by something. And I have never had that happen. I don't need to get views, I don't have any channel, I don't have anything that I'm putting out, you know, what you guys do is you, but I don't have any of that myself, so it's not like I have any reason to just make this up, you know?
Well, that's why we started doing this, because there's too much of that. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of that, and I had totally forgot about that. My friend had already been choked way before that, you know. And but then when I finally was like, whoa, and this first thing I yelled was no, you know. So when I came up here and I played poker, I sat here, and my friends my friend that had been choked and his wife were here, and they are investigators and stuff, and they said, would you be okay if we left you alone up here? And I'm like, We can try, you know. And I wasn't moving. I sat right here with my back to the wall and sat down and had cards in front of me. That was it. And then they came, like, there was a thump. But the whole time I was here by myself was not very long, like a few minutes. But something was over on this end, like leering over me, like it just felt like something was there, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you, you know, like just kind of lurking. And they kept like making me look over there. I kept looking.
There's definitely something over there. I keep looking at that like third wall right there, not the one that's got the light on it, but the one in between.
Right.
Something keeps like changing the color of it. Like there's definitely like a shadow going back and forth.
There's the highway down here or whatever, which is, you know, so I mean it can be sometimes like light from a vehicle or something, or a semi or something, like if they have, you know, something.
But right now it's daytime. The only thing lighting that up is the sun. So like what's making that shadow?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So it's just weird. You do see some strange movement up here. But I told the, you know, gunslinger we couldn't hurt each other. Nobody could hurt people anymore. And I'm not mean to you. Don't be mean to me. Like, it's like I heard it in my subconscious almost, but it was a thump, you know, and I didn't think twice about it because I was a little wrapped up in my own head about some of that being here by myself at night and being with the gunslinger alone. And they came running up the stairs, and my friend says, I thought you fell down, but you didn't get up. And I said, no, I never stood up. He's like, it sounded like you got up and then fell down. And I'm like, no. He's like, you're still in the same spot. We know you didn't get up and fall down that quickly, you know, and because but that thump, whatever it was loud, blatant, like somebody fell down. My point is, the next group that I had, they came to do an investigation. They had a voice box and stuff, and I said that I was telling them, like I'm telling you guys that, you know, I made an agreement with this guy not to be mean to each other, and the voice box said, yeah, we'll see. So there's that. But so far, knock on wood, that we have been.
Yeah,
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Like someone was throwing like a rock or something.
Yeah, like when I knocked on wood, they were like. Sides in the building, there was a lady that fell in love with a married man, and obviously he's not going to take her home and keep her. And so she jumped out one of the windows to her death. There was a man who fell in love with the lady of the evening. Quote the great Dr. Dre, he can't make a whole housewife, so he jumped to his death as well. There was a man that found himself completely broken out of money and hung himself on, I believe it's the floor below us. So there's been some noted sides that, like I said, a lot of sadness and heartbreak and just depression, even the loneliness, even though there was a lot of people around, you know. And we know today how that's a thing, and that we, you know, well, how can you be lonely if there's all these people and all this hustle and bustle? Well, it's a thing, and sometimes you just feel lonely and lost in your world, you know.
And if we hear the wind, we'll just immediately call that not.
It's pretty windy out, so there's going to be some weird.
I just seen it again.
You what?
As soon as we passed for a second, my camera was pointing down the hallway this way, but there was somebody standing like in this room, just like watching us pass.
Right. There is said to be a man that sits in a chair out here in this area in like a wife beater, and he like monitors the hall or just watches the hall.
No,
we don't know why or what, but he sits here in this hallway and watches everything that goes on.
It looked like somebody that would be like dressed back in like that type of time, like where it was like maybe like an overall set or something where they were just working.
Yeah, the gunslinger does wear a cowboy hat, and so when we're cruising along, again, cinder block, 1980s. When you look down this stairwell, you'll notice that the stairs end in the middle of the window. Don't fall down them, please. I don't know why the guy in the 80s did that. I don't know if it was because the fire escapes are just right out there, and maybe you could still use them if you needed to, or if it was like, oh, hey, bro, you owe me money. Why don't you come help me with something upstairs real fast? Or if it was planning on sealing it off completely. I don't know. But we'll go ahead and go down these stairs here. One time there's a group that's called 01, and they come up from Vegas. They have off-road groups. And there's a whole group of them that were over at the bar across the street, and I had done a tour and everything, and we were done, and I went over to the bar across the street, and there's like 20 of them over there, and they're all drinking and partying and having fun. And the one gal's like, you do the tours? We were just talking about the tours. Can we take a tour, please? I'm like, I just really got done. I don't know. And she's like, I'll get all of these people to go and they will all pay. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I can't turn that down.
There's a few bucks at least. And so, so we get over there and I'm doing a tour and I start the same way with just my tours or anything else. And they're all drinking, you know, they've been drinking, they're laughing, coming down. But me and this other guy came down first and he's like standing here, I'm standing here, kind of like looking, waiting for them to come down the stairs and they're blah, 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 blah. And we're both kind of quiet standing here. And then right here, right in the middle of this door is this dude. What was that? Did you hear that? That was a knocking right behind your head. And I'm like, yeah, it was. And I didn't know what to say. I'd never heard it before either. I'm just like, yep, it sure was. But if you go around this corner and you look for the door there, there's no door there on that side. You can't tell that this door is here. So like, to do it right in the middle of that door was...
Yeah.
And nobody else, those guys are, and he's like, you guys, oh my God, you'll never believe, and they're all still going, blah, 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 and they're not listening to him at all, and he's just like, oh my God, you know, and they are just like, blah, 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 trying to mess with each other and stuff. He just couldn't get them to pay attention to him. He was so frustrated because he's like, you guys are not listening to me. They're like, blah, 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 you know. This right here is one of my favorite things in the hotel. If this was my hotel, I'd have glass over it just because it's super cool. This is the phone system. The telephone system. So it's, when we're so wireless and so mobile these days, then this is all the to all the rooms, so you can see the room numbers that it's serviced and everything else. So I think that to me is super badass.
Yeah, it is.
So this area was a social area, and you could get together, you could go out on your balcony, and you could visit and what have you. But the city of Goldfield at one time was very, very influential. It was one of the bigger cities out west, and there was so much gold and so much money coming and going in and out of this place that they actually had their own stock exchange next door. To have your own stock exchange was that means you have a lot of gold coming through, a lot of money coming through, things like that. Look how low this is. If you fell down those stairs, you ran into me, I'd go right over the edge. I mean, that's pretty low. It's not to standard for sure anymore anyway. I don't know if it was because, you know, if you came down in your nice fancy outfit, somebody should see you and you didn't want the handrail in the way or whatever. I don't know why it's so low. So when you came to the Goldfield Hotel back in its heyday, and you checked into your room and you put your stuff upstairs, it's a pretty good chance, just like today, where hey, are you hungry? Let's go downstairs and have a bite to eat. Proper gentlemen were expected to stop at the gentleman's saloon and socialize with other gentlemen, kind of a bros club. But proper women, not working girls, were not allowed in a saloon, and that was just that. So as a proper woman, I would have to go down this other hallway. This is the kitchen area over here. It's kind of a workshop area now. But it's a good-sized kitchen. Again, when you see the cinder block over there, the cinder block is the 1980s, and that was a service elevator that went down to the basement to if you needed stuff from the basement or that was in storage or what have you. So pretty nice to have that quick little elevator instead of having to pack it up the stairs, which is what they had to do back in the day. So every now and then I can catch somebody that's over here working, it looks like, and they're not very tall, they're very short. Like
well, that
maybe
explains the handrail.
Yeah, well, maybe, but more like a Chinese slave possibly, because they did have that then. But he or she, probably he, is over there, usually not very, like I said, not very tall at all. And then we'll go ahead and come back out here. This was a bar that ladies of the evening could socialize with gentlemen. So all of this rock was brought in from Rockland, California. And it encompasses the entire basement and this floor. So when you consider how much rock that is, that's a lot of rock they brought in just, you know, from Rockland, California. When you look at the building from the outside, you can see some of this rock. But you also see some white rock, and the white rock was from a local quarry. Down this hallway is where the ladies of the evening were. This is probably my least favorite hallway in the entire universe. But this is the famous room 109. So nobody really ever knows it, looks up anything, sees anything, or tries to find out any information about the Goldfield Hotel without finding out at least something about Elizabeth, room 109. Miss Elizabeth was a beautiful young girl who worked in the brothel, and I would imagine, generally anyway, they were enslaved into the business, It was very common to be told you would be in a show or you would be brought out to sing or something and then be enslaved into the brothel business and never given enough money or opportunity in any way to get out. If you did get out, not only would you probably have next to no money, but nobody would hire you for any other job, honestly. Miss Elizabeth was George Wingfield's favorite girl. So George Wingfield and Casey McDaniel were the second owners of the Goldfield Hotel. Casey McDaniel was trying to start a chain of hotels, Then George Wingfield was a multimillionaire before he was the age of 30. He owned the Goldfield Consolidated Mining Company. He later moved on to the Reno area where he started a chain of banks. He's one of the main reasons the state of Nevada did not completely fail during the Great Depression. He became involved in politics, etc. So he was very influential in the state of Nevada. However, that's where the niceness stops. When Miss Elizabeth was said to be pregnant, he was furious, and he demanded she be chained to the radiator heater that was located right here. She was chained to the radiator heater until she gave birth to the baby, and then they took the baby, and some say threw it in a mine shaft, and some say threw it under the stairwell. And she bled to death 3 days later. Some people used to say she died of a broken heart, but she bled to death, obviously. They were probably both malnutrition. The baby was probably premature. It might have been dead when it was born, or would have died shortly thereafter. Regardless, they most likely disposed of Miss Elizabeth in a similar fashion. When you look at the walls, there is some pink flowery wallpaper still. And that is from when this was the brothel area and from when Miss Elizabeth was working in this room, they say. There is a dark shadowy figure that paces out here in this hallway and guards her. Makes sure that nobody helps her or is nice to her or stops to talk to her or anything like that. If you try to communicate with Miss Elizabeth in here, there is a voice that sounds like and acts like it's her. And then you catch it up and it's not her, and it's talking for her and not allowing her to talk. So it's very, very uncommon to catch her actually speaking to you. It's very common when I come in here, there they are. When I stop here, there used to be footsteps right here that you'd hear. Lately they've been over here. And then today it sounded like they were kind of...
Like over here somewhere, I heard it.
Yeah, something on this side. The ones that were here were like sounded like a male person anyway, or a male person.
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah. And it's usually, up there was usually a heel dragger with the cowboy boot sound on, so I have my cowboy boots today, so it would be like, but it was a heavier footstep than like me. Lately, it sounds like somebody's stressed out up here, like they're pacing, like, sounding like, you know, either it's frustrated at us or frustrated at something else, I don't know. In here has been caught on some voice deals that a woman's voice that says, slap the bitch, shut her up. And a male voice that says, now leave. I think it's residual. I don't think it's towards us in any way, shape, or form. I think that, for one, a madam was always held responsible for everything that those girls did. If you have a young girl down there crying, shut her up. I don't care what it takes, slap her, whatever. And a male person going, go. So I think it's residual. I don't think that it's towards us at all. I think that it's slap her and shut her up. We have to conduct business, and sobbing a little girl down there is going to be bad for business, you know? And it's funny that they started walking right away with you guys here, so that was good. I like that. Usually I've had the same sounding cowboy boot footsteps come up behind me on the stairwell too, on the top floor when I get there, and then they come. They say it's George Wingfield. It very well could be. Sometimes I have personally smelled the cigars, especially one of those old cigars, those old school Cuban cigars type of thing. They say he likes to stand down at the end of the stairs by that pillar and kind of rest his arm and watch people walk around or watch people come in the building and stuff like that, and just kind of watch business come in. And he wanders throughout the building, they say. I don't know if for sure it's George. I don't know that it wouldn't be George. So I don't know who else it might be. And do you keep hearing somebody out there? Like somebody who's almost coming down that hallway, it almost sounded like for a second, like, that's why I was like, yeah. But so
earlier you said that you don't like this hallway. Why was, like...
It's scary feeling.
Has something happened or like no?
Just never anything bad happened. It just not even. It's almost scarier than the top floor to me, but the top floor is super scary too. At night when it's super dark in here, if everybody turns off their lights and you stand here just real quiet and real still, there is a dark shadow that comes in that hallway and like it's pacing up and down, like maybe watching over the place or concerned with what's going on down in either Elizabeth's room or in the hallway or something. But like it'll be really dark and there'll be a light on in that other room or something, but like it'll be pretty dark in here, and then it gets darker when that person goes across the hall or paces that hall, and it's like, I thought it was me at first. I thought I was trying to, my mind was making things a little more than it was, until I never would tell people that. And then, did you see that dark shadowy figure down there pacing? And I'm like, oh, thank you, it's not me. It's not me making this up. Okay, good. And I'm like, yes, I see it all the time. And they're like, it was trippy, like he's guarding something. It's, yep. And then I've had other people, because I wouldn't tell people about it a lot at first, and I've had other people go, did you see that just get super dark, black down there, like nothing is that? Yeah, I do. So that's one of the reasons probably that this hallway is kind of, I don't know, it's mostly coming this way that I get the most uncomfortable, it seems like. Again, you can see the tennis ball there, but that's the kitchen area. And I'll tell you a quick story about one of the girls that used to work here. She would bring her dog Blue, and he's kind of like a lab mix. He's a littler dog. He's really smart, and he does everything his mom tells him pretty much. And she rides her dirt bike out here, and she goes across the highway, and she'll tell Blue to stop and wait. And he's like, ooh, come on, let's go. And he'll bark at her something like, is it time yet? You know, but he won't go until she says it's okay. And then when traffic's clear, she's like, okay. And then he, all right, you know, and he'll bark at her, yeah, you know. But he brought his tennis ball every day so that somebody would throw the tennis ball for him because he was so excited about his tennis ball. And so somebody threw it one day and it bounces and it heads down the steps to the basement. And Blue has been throughout this building. He's probably seen parts of this building that we don't even know about. But the tennis ball goes down those stairs one day and it stops dead in its tracks on the third step. I don't know, but you've never seen a tennis ball stop like that. And like if you throw that tennis ball, it goes rolling for a while. And if it's in motion downstairs, it's probably not gonna stop. So, but the dog stopped at the top here and he looked at the people, looked at his ball, looked back at the people, looked at his ball, and he went, I'm good. We didn't get his favorite toy in the whole world. So 3 days later, somebody needed something out of the basement, grabbed the tennis ball, and threw it and said, hey dog, here's your ball. Said, oh, my tennis ball, yay! You know, but whatever stopped it there, no bueno for him. So we go like this, we'll go 1, 2, 3. So he's here, the ball's here. Nope, I'm good, that's okay, it'll stay there. They can stay there. Down this hallway, first door here is the cigar room, and no women were allowed in the cigar room, and that was just that. And if you're a man that was going to go into the cigar room, you had to be invited by somebody kind of important, like George Wingfield or somebody like that. You see the split door so that nobody could just come in. You could, what do you want? Open the door and show that, you know. There was once an owner that told everybody he was building a mine under the hotel. He was digging mine shafts, and they were said to be dry holes or that had no value in them. I call bullshit. There was never any intention to build a mine here. If you were going to build a hotel like this, you would have checked the dirt first. Especially as you built this basement, you would start digging and you'd make sure that there was nothing valuable down here. There was no silver, no gold, no nothing that you could mine out, because then you wouldn't build the hotel, you'd build a mine.
Right.
Secondly, you have a fine hotel above you. You have velvet furniture and leather things, and what are you going to do with this dirt? Take it out the elevator, all the people that are all here dressed fancy and everything? That doesn't make sense. There's no other way to take it out of here. So that's kind of a bullshit story in my opinion. We know for a fact, historically speaking, and everything about it, there is a tunnel from this building under the highway over to the buildings across the way to the brothels. So down here was what we would call like a gentleman's salon today. It was a barber shop. Of course, women were not allowed in a barber shop, so there was no use of coming to check and see if your man was down here anyway. But if you were maybe down here and you got a shoulder massage and a steam facial and a nice shave and a haircut, and then you could just kind of maybe nonchalantly go over to the other brothels where nobody would know you were there. And maybe your, you know, Model T is parked out front, and your wife's probably having lunch with the ladies upstairs, but, you know, there's those things you could go do over there. So that, and if you're of prominence in the community, nobody would see that, you know, somebody that's pretty well known for whatever, they would go to a house of ill repute, you know. So there's those deals. Some people say this is where the baby ended up. I don't believe that either. That's another bullshit story. Cheating on your wife is one thing. A dead baby is going to be another moral standard that most people are not going to be okay with. You'll be like, dead babies, really? You guys, I'm not coming back here, you know? As well as you're smelling good, feeling good, looking good. You want to go past the stench of a rotting animal, regardless if it's a cat or a human. It's going to stink. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be a stench. Do you want that on you after you just got looking good and feeling good? No. Do you want that to waft in or out of a salon or a barbershop or what have you? Probably not. So I don't think that that's legitimate stories in any way. Some people say there's cries of the baby that come out. I think they're trying too hard, honestly. I just do. And this is one of the rooms that I've been bumped into by something. When they bumped into me, it felt like, you know, like this part of your hand brushed against my leg like that, you know. I also had somebody go like, touch my shoulder, just touch me, you know, like, okay. And I've had other people say that they felt their energy, small energies in front of me, what have you. When I mentioned the baby, they said that the baby could have ended up in a mine shaft or under the stairwell. This is under the stairwell. There was a man in the 1980s that was in here that was in here writing a newspaper article about the hotel, and he was doing some research. He said he found some little bitty tiny bones under the stairwell here that he didn't think were rodent or a bird or anything, but he didn't know what they were. And that was the 80s. We didn't have access to maybe having it tested or whatever, so I don't know where they are today. So you guys, Ghost Adventures fans?
Used to be until we moved out here, and then I started figuring out just how fake everything was.
So when the very, very, very first time Zach and his crew came to the Goldfield Hotel, and if you watch the very first video here, he had a brick thrown at him. That's bullshit too. If you look closely at that video, you'll see a line in the corner that's the string attached to the brick. This is where the brick was supposedly thrown, is right here. This is a creepy, funky crawl space, and that goes all the way over to this creepy crawl space. They connect, and it is a weird energy in here and a weird feeling in general. But I had not had anything happen in here, excuse me, other than feeling just strange. And I've been doing this like 3 years, up until here just a couple weeks back, and a guy was standing like, about where you're at, but he was kind of facing this way instead of you're facing that way, you know. And as we were wrapping up and getting ready to go back out the door, a big thump. And the one girl that was standing beside him, she goes, "Yep, and I'm out of here." She booked it. And she ran. She's like, "Yep, and I'm gone." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." You know, what was that? Did you bump into something? He's like, "No, I didn't touch anything. I didn't even move. And I'm just standing here." And he's like, and I'm like, okay, well, because I thought it sounded like he bumped into something like this, but it didn't make that same kind of noise. Yeah. And I'm like, he's like, "No, it came from in there." And I'm like, okay, well, so there's that. Anyway, so that's about all of the building, and I know it takes a while to see all of it, but it's a big-ass building.
All right, so we are in the car. We're trying to figure out what the attack plan for the building is. It's huge. I'm gonna be cutting out a lot of like the intro and all that stuff just to make it like flow better. But like, I'm juiced. We were gonna go in there. Wilson's volunteered to go in by himself first.
I'm always fish bait.
Cork don't want to. So Wilson's gonna go in first.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
We're gonna what? How long you wanna do? 5-10 minutes?
I don't know.
Where are you gonna go?
I don't know. It's scary in there.
I think you should go to the brothel area.
Is that the?
Yeah, down there.
That's the
Yeah.
darky spot.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going with me if I'm doing that. We'll go in there together.
I'll go in by myself.
Of course you will.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna go in by myself, but like, I mean, I'll go in that area. I'll go in any area by myself. I don't care. Except for the crawl space. I don't want to go in that. That was creepy, tiny looking. I ain't doing that.
You gotta do that. That's something you have to do.
I'm not crawling in with all those rocks, dude. That don't. I need knee pads, bro. I got arthritis coming. Well, it's been decided that Cork and Wilson are gonna go in, so.
Spooky.
You okay? Alright, good luck, you guys.
And you're doing 10 minutes because you got 2 people. Good luck. They done for it.
It's pretty much dead silence, honestly.
You haven't really got much?
Just one big bag and that's it.
So we got a special guest investigator on his first paranormal investigation.
This feels paranormal.
So nothing, huh?
I don't know what you feel. Where do you feel anything in any of the floors? Did you feel something down by Elizabeth's room?
By Elizabeth's room, over that whole section, up top, I seen, like I said, I thought I saw some shadows or whatever. But we'll just walk around, I guess, for a quick second and see what we can come across. What do you think, buddy? Huh?
He's like, nope, we ain't going down.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm not doing it down there. Wouldn't go down there, remember? There's the ball, buddy. He just goes right over it. He's like, I don't care. Well, if we don't get anything together, we might have to do solos. Yeah, I'll be down. You can chill with Buddy in the car. We'll do some solos. Alright, that works. Alright, well, what do you think?
Do you remember where that is?
Elizabeth is down the hallway right there. Let me put Buddy in the car real quick and then we'll get to it. It is so damn cold out there.
See, now I'm not like here. Asking, I was fucking freezing, like shaking.
What?
When I came in here first time, like I walked in the door and I was just shaking so.
What, right earlier?
Yeah, first time.
What are you eating? Starburst. Alright, cool. Let's grab some gear and let's get going. Alright, first and foremost, it is freezing. We are going to go to the brothel area that's supposed to have the most activity. We only have a limited amount of time here tonight, so we're going to try to utilize it by going to the most active areas. And this is supposedly it. And I just got the chills. Yeah, this was it. Alright, so here, I got an idea. Put this right here. So that way, if anything comes down the hallway.
Did you just get pushed?
What?
What was that sound?
What, that scraping?
Yeah.
That wasn't you?
No. Scared the fuck out of me. It made me jump. I thought it was like a cat, you know when they...
It's already going.
See, I know I
Oh
heard
my
something.
god. Well, hello, whoever's here. We mean no disrespect, no harm or anything. We're just coming to converse, talk for a little bit. If you don't want us here, you can even tell us that and we will leave. We are respectful. We're not trying to, like I said, be disrespectful or anything. Dude, it is just going. Here, reach in my backpack, grab a REM pod. It's just going.
It's just going non-stop.
Can you walk to the side of the hall just so it'll...
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we know we're just basically standing in front of you. So we just want to talk, hang out for a little bit. We know you're here.
Ooh, I just got an orb.
On your camera?
Yep. It literally just came out through that
Right there, I
room.
seen another one. Hey, you got the REM pod?
Yeah, that's my stoppers.
You what?
You're reaching for my
You're reaching for the Starbursts. You're still eating them?
I got the munchies.
Alright, so I'm gonna walk over here and put this REM pod down. All I'm doing is just adjusting the range, hitting that middle button.
What you hear?
I always heard other footsteps behind you going down the hall.
I didn't hear anything.
I heard boots, like she explained earlier, like going like this. Going down this way.
Yeah, that's probably what I heard earlier. Because remember it sounded like, I don't know.
That is crazy, it just keeps going. Alright, well, could you maybe follow us down this hallway? Just a little bit.
I say it left.
Well, it's still going.
Why don't you come follow us?
Yeah, come on over. Here, come over here. Come on over here. We're gonna go down this room.
Like it's indecisive. This was
It was this room.
She heard like the footsteps coming from above. I had to play a little quiet game. Stop. Ready?
Come in this room with us.
I don't hear the boots in here up there. Here, you guys stay in here. I want to see. Ooh. As soon as you look down the hallway, you just get the chills, bro. This shit is creepy. Alright, so at this time, I think it would be appropriate to put my phone on airplane mode, and then get this going. I, in the last video, stated that I wasn't really a believer in it, but that has changed recently because somebody has showed me this app stating her name twice, and I don't think that's really possible with something that you would fake or loop or any of that stuff. And I want to point out that this has completely stopped now. Are you still here with us? Hear that little yeah.
Right when I sniffed.
Who are we speaking to? Buddy out in the car. I'm here. And now it starts. Oh man. Whoever's here, can you touch that little REM pod over here? You might not know what that is. It's just going to allow us to know that you're here. That little antenna, it's not going to hurt you. If you touch it, it'll light up the lights on that and show us that you're here. Look, I'll demonstrate. That's all you got to do is just come up and touch it, and it's going to show us that you're here.
They say no?
I don't know. It's crazy, just Are you still trapped here? That was creepy. Elizabeth, are you here? Is that you standing in front of us?
Yep.
Yeah.
You heard it, yeah?
I said yep.
He's still eating Starburst.
We heard there's someone that likes to pretend to be Elizabeth. Is that you?
Yeah. Stop. Stop what? Stop asking these questions? Do you not like that? We're not trying to be disrespectful. We just want to know what's going on here.
Why do you pretend to be her?
Are you trying to protect her and that's your way of loving her, is keeping her away from everybody? You heard that help? Little tiny help?
Yeah, don't go so fast.
Elizabeth, do you need help?
This thing's still just... You heard that, Jack?
You didn't even tell him your name, did you?
No. How do you know my name? Yeah, it's not there now. I thought it was like a spider web or something, but there was just like a shimmer right here. That's why I kept flashing the camera back and forth. It's not this, but it was like across this way. Did I just see you? You think so? Who did I see? Was that you, Elizabeth? You guys notice how that thing hasn't been playing at all now?
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
This is creepy.
Elizabeth, do you want to come stand in front of this music box if that was you that we saw?
Here, you know what? I'm gonna turn my light off, keep yours on. Or Quark, is yours on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you turn your camera lights off. Let's see if we can get the shadows to move around a little more. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
You're scared. I'm getting the chills real.
I got the chills really bad like
bad,
10 minutes, or like not 10 minutes ago, like a minute ago. As soon as I was standing in this doorway.
Yeah, it's still good. That's crazy, dude. It just is not going at all now.
Random.
Can you come back and stand in front of us for us? Come talk with us? The little whispers are so creepy. Well, now that that's not going off, let's kind of make our way back over here. Here, I'm gonna put that in the middle. And let's just like be quiet for just a quick second and see if we can't hear the footsteps upstairs again. Because that was crazy earlier.
You heard it? You hear it?
Dude. Can you make your way down the hallway towards us?
Why did you turn the light off? Why are you scared?
Right, he's talking to.
This place is not a joke, dude. I want to go look around the corner, but I don't want to look around the corner.
I really want to look around the corner.
Look at Sack up here. Dude. Who's down there? Oh man, bro.
Do they want us to go back?
That is so creepy. Like, why did they... Whoever that was that commented about they should play a Sublime song or something. Like,
Wait, what?
instead of the creepy noise that it makes on that, like, they need to have, like, Sublime or something, like, you know, really mellow playing rather than, like... Like, how? How did I... You cannot...
Can't fake this.
Something has to physically be in front of that within, like, 4 or 5 feet. Has to.
Mando.
I mean, unless I'm wrong, and anybody in the comments can say otherwise, but, like, I have not figured out any type of way to be able to manipulate that other than to be in front of it. You can't. Me?
Who's me?
Jack, you heard it again?
Yeah, I heard that. That's your name.
Can you say my name for a third time?
Ooh. Ooh, that was heavy. Eso sí está pesado. Bro. She said it paces back and forth because it's stressed out.
Yeah, that's no joke.
No. This is crazy.
Whoever's up there, can you make a little bit more noise? I'm getting the chills, like, terribly bad right now. Okay.
Safer than the hall.
Dude. That was nuts.
Sit down. That was chill. No. Nothing else.
That thing's just going off.
Yeah, they said he used to just walk up and down the hall. So it might just be.
Oh, in there, walking back and forth?
Yeah.
Yeah, upstairs.
It could be that.
Stressed out.
But that was something up there. Okay, just so everybody knows, I'm cutting this right here and I'm starting it again, just that way if there's no corrupted files or anything, I've already had too much of that. So I want to make sure we got that upstairs, because that was crazy. I ain't never heard no shit like that. We had to heard the footsteps at the jail. That was like a couple steps. That was boom, 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 like around the corner. Like, that was nuts. I mean, dude, this...
And the music box is just like... No.
But it stopped for a while, though. That's the craziest shit. It's just, now it's just like...
And even then, it stops for a little bit and then continues.
If you like ghosts, come here. Goldfield Hotel. Just...
Oh.
Something's up there. Something is fucking up there. I want to go up there, but after hearing what Susan said at the prison, just like when things are active, stay there. Don't go looking around for more stuff. Just like stay there. You should have your phone on airplane mode. That was crazy though. Slowly go back out into the hallway. Here, give me my phone so that we can get microphonic going again. I want to hear it walk again. That was great. Alright, well, I'm gonna do that cut that I was talking about originally. 1, 2, 3. Starting again. There's a bathtub she was saying got installed. So, are there any other spirits here? My friend Wilson here is looking for a lady of the night to come hang out with. He's been looking for a good time.
Anything helps.
Maybe go hang out in one of those rooms down over there, buddy.
They're getting excited. See, they like me, they're getting excited.
They've been liked you. Where'd you ladies go?
Do you want my friend Jack here to follow you into the room?
I'm taking, bro. That's your job.
Get up on it.
You were calling your name.
Yeah, that's right. They were, huh?
Which room are you in? Stop when he gets there.
This room?
Is it this room that you're in? One he's standing right in front of?
Bro, I'm getting the chills so damn.
They just did it one time. Can you... If that's his room, if that's the room that you're in, can you let us know by standing in front of this music box one time?
This room?
Go back.
That room?
I'm gonna set up a REM pod in here. That little device I told you ladies about earlier. Alright. Oh shit!
It's going off.
Can you let go of it just for a quick second? Please? Just let go to verify that you're here. Just for a quick second. Sure, I don't know. Hit the reset button on it, see if it does it again. There. But that thing over there is still going like crazy. So maybe that is whoever is supposed to be guarding Elizabeth standing over there like protecting that area. I think so. So down here was where the gunfight was, right?
Yeah. And down here's where we kept seeing something.
Which side you said you see him poke out the most?
He usually sticks his head around one of these corners. These.
Alright, well.
And then there's somebody that sits here, but he never gets like verbal or anything from him like, that we know of anyway. But monitors.
We'll set that up here. See if we can't get that to go. And then, you still have the REM pod on you? We'll set up one in this corner. Did you ever figure out what his name was?
No, they usually gets called the gunslinger.
Gunslinger?
Yeah.
Gunslinger, are you here with us? You want to walk down the end of the hall? Lights out? I love torturing these guys. I won't send them on anything I won't do
Just
myself.
the thing I want to do on this.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Alright. He did a good enough.
You want to take the phone too? Okay. To the end. You hear that?
Yeah. That was somebody tapping on something.
That was something tapping.
Yeah, and it was in the wind.
Suddenly don't want my back turned over here.
Yeah. So I fucked my ass to the wall.
Nothing? Said keep going. Heard it?
Yeah. Hello, are you here with us? Are you up here? Want to talk? You know you're not a man of many words.
That thing's about to go off.
Uh-huh. You do want to talk? Okay.
Is it okay that we're up here? We don't want to be disrespectful. We're just here to hang out and communicate. If you don't want us up here, we'll kindly kick rocks. Hear it again?
What do you have to say? You know how this goes. You can talk to these devices. You can make that light up and go off. You know how this works. We've all been here before.
We didn't even get those tapping sounds. Like it was pitch quiet.
In here, whatever it is.
Right? I kept seeing something like coming in and out on my camera.
Yeah.
Earlier or right now?
Like right now. Not right now, but before you said something.
Do you want us to move out of the way so you can talk to other devices or come down here further? We don't want to stand in your hallway in your way.
Behind me?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like a bee sting on my neck. Still in there, just tapping.
Gloves up.
Is it okay if I come in there with you? Make a loud tap if it's okay. As soon as you hit like the bathroom, you get the chills, bro. Well, thank you. Thank you for communicating with us. I appreciate that. Thank you for also showing us you're here.
I like when you're not an asshole to me or other people.
It's nice.
Our friends, we're all cool. I was gonna ask you that, you know, the other night I had a real creepy guy outside of the hotel. Maybe you should start being my security, man. Because you are intimidating. Maybe you should be my security and watch out for bad people, not hurt us good people that come inside.
Like how after you ask the question, it starts going off.
Maybe you should be my protection instead of being. We could be friends that way. Does that mean yes? I hope that means yes, because I would like that. We could scare the bad guys away, not the good guys.
Yeah, you can slam the bad guys all you want. It's crazy, this thing's not going off at all now. It was cranking earlier.
Really? That's
Like it was it was like this. It would be like
the whole time, huh? That's funny.
well, I just I'll send you the video when I'm done with
Yeah,
it. You're
that's
gonna be
funny,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
That's funny.
Well, thank you, Gunslinger, for
I might have got him then.
Nah, it only does like 5-6 feet.
I think it's got him good. He said. It's getting you. I like when we can debunk that, you know, like I like when you can bust the thing on it. But yeah, it's getting you.
I guess it was a strong, but does that mean though?
I don't know, maybe I think so. But well, he's moving around too down there. Maybe it's just because it's a long straight hallway, or I don't know.
It's only supposed to do like 6 feet.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems
Yeah, I guess today is just doing extra.
yeah, it's just being extra cool today.
It's sensitive today. It's working well.
Yeah, well, sometimes those girls make you sensitive, you know. Maybe those girls down there made him sensitive.
Was that what happened?
Maybe. Yeah.
This is crazy though.
Yeah, got you.
That's Wilson.
Got you. Mr. Gunslinger, thank you for hanging out with us, visiting for a minute.
Now there's no taps. I haven't heard one in a minute. There, no,
there we
no.
go.
He's like, no, I'm still here. I wish I knew like Morse code or something. Well, I've got a device on that I'm going to turn back on if you want to come speak through this rather than just tapping.
What?
So the volume all the way up on here. Is it okay that we're still here? Say go away.
And then said leave.
You don't want us here? You want us to dip? Silence. Can you say my name again? Whoever was saying it downstairs? I heard that little one leave. Alright, well, we'll leave, but can you tell us why we need to leave? If not, we'll still leave.
It sounded like it said come up there.
What?
It sounded like it said come up there.
Come over where? I don't know, you guys want to check out any of the other floors? What do we have to call it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
See those?
Mm-hmm. You grab that, I'll grab these. Well, thank you, Mr. Gunslinger.
Anybody else who's visiting here? Thanks, everybody.
Yeah?
We're going to go down to the next floors.
It's been a pleasure.
Seymour Butts, 1908, 1893, 1733, 1527 BC.
People are dumb and they work in here sometimes.
You smell that?
I can.
No, they smell like the same washu smell for a second, like that sweet old like musky. I don't smell it now though. Not perfume, but like it's the whole building has like a certain smell to it. And like ever since I've gone there before, like I'll be in my garage back in the Bay Area editing my videos, whatever, and you'll smell it.
Right.
And then it's like it comes with you or whatever. It's weird. Did we grab the music box? Oh, you did. You want to shoot that down the hallway, maybe? He said, hurry. Look at this tactical positioning by Wilson. What's your logic behind that? They're walking next to the wall.
Walking in from there.
Oh, okay. It looks like it's pointing at the wall. Did it calibrate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't leave.
That's facing away, right?
Yeah.
Let go.
Stopping.
Did it say cork?
Say cork?
It sounded like it said cork.
You hearing that tap? Leak in head, mofo. Can't really see it on the wall. There it goes. What are you doing down there? Still eating Starburst. We were doing it earlier. I look over and we're like, everybody's like wigging out. And he's just like, eating the Starburst as he goes. Trying to calm his nerves. You trying to calm your nerves? Oh, that's wild that it's going off down there. Have you found any way to manipulate it to do anything?
You manipulate that?
Those? Down there?
Not, well, I mean, not other than just movement.
In front of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still going.
When it's moving, it will pick up.
Yeah. Do you think that's... Well, no, Gunslinger's supposed to be upstairs, so this is something else.
I mean, I'm sure he could wander about. But
Yeah.
he mostly hangs out up there as far as I know.
Can you come over here and touch the REM pod? You might see it as a little light. I don't know what you would want to call it. Sounded like I said sorry. Look, now it stopped. Yep, there it goes. When it did that too downstairs, it stopped for like a while.
Right.
And then just started cranking up again.
Right. I never really get to see those people at all, so.
That was creepy as shit.
What?
I know it wasn't this because it sounded like it came from like over here. It was like a hey. I've been sitting here listening to it. I know what it sounds like coming from here. It came from this way, like sitting behind me. This building is too cool. What time is it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, well, you guys want to grab those two and then let's go down to the brothel for like the last little bit, see if we can hit the footsteps. That thing was pounding down there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they make blatant footsteps. Like it's blatant
in
footsteps.
the basement, you said? Yeah, we can do the
Yeah,
basement.
that'd be good too.
So they faked that video, huh?
They fake everything.
Even from the beginning? Sheesh.
Oh yeah.
That was your.
They probably, you know, alright, so if you said that, and if that is true, which I believe because of all the other crap that they've done, but I feel like that documentary, they probably started out with, like, good intentions, and then they were like, they probably did some other places and, like, didn't get shit.
Yeah.
And they were
They did
like,
say it in the beginning.
oh, let's...
They didn't get shit, so they came to Reno.
Yeah,
Well,
they
and
did say
then-
that, huh?
Yeah, and then you know, and I get some of that, especially when he was starting off. Like you hear these stories from different people, and you're not always going to get that same thing, so you have to reenact it. And that was what he had started doing. Except for now, he just flat fakes everything. There isn't a show that there isn't this anger and aggression, and that Aaron doesn't cry.
Yeah.
Every time when they were filming here, he's like, okay, Dad, did you come in? And he's like we're like over by the stairs, and he's like, and then Aaron comes up to the door, and he's like, bro, you'll never believe. Like I thought those guys were behind me, and they weren't behind me. Like nobody was there, dude. I'm like, and I literally caught myself like. And I was like, cameras, shit, cameras. And fortunately, of course, I was not important, so they were not on me. I was like, oh, thank God, because I was really like a dick point in front of the camera too. But it was totally, you know. And like I said, I mean, I get that some of this you gotta pull out, forced, you know, to be there to get something. But he had a whole fucking week to figure it out. And I'm pretty sure you had a whole week to find real things that you don't need to fake.
Yeah, you
and
don't.
I'm pretty sure that
That's what
there's
drives me
plenty.
crazy.
You guys have seen just tonight the little things that can happen that if you stayed here a week.
Oh, it probably
You're
would have been
gonna
tenfold. That's why I don't
and-
understand, like, why people need to fake something. I
and-
think that's what maybe it is sometimes. Sometimes I feel like spirits maybe just want to show something to the right people, and they just know your intentions.
Yes.
If you're really trying to, like, believe, like, this is what you want to find out, this is what you want to learn about, they'll expose themselves to you. Or,
Right.
not in that way, but, like,
Right, yeah.
they'll show themselves to you. But, like, other than that,
Helicopter,
it's like...
guys.
That would go viral. I would not mind catching that on camera.
That would be cool as fuck. But yeah, I mean, I'd be like, damn, that was awesome.
Ghost has a helicopter on camera. Oh my god! I can't believe we're having this conversation. But you know what I mean, though. Like,
it could be the same thing, you know. She'd be like, da 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 da. You know,
Anything goes.
yeah.
that
Show
would
us
be
your
some
tits. Yeah,
shit.
she does. You know, that type of thing. But you never know.
I've done a video, but when we were at the what is it, the Birdcage Theater, you took a picture.
Inside
And
the one
I'll
room.
put this in the video now, but like you can see, you zoom in on the mirror in the room, and clear as I'll show it to you, clear as day. You can see like it's a woman from the brothel.
Right?
It's crazy.
Well, and usually they were scandalously clad.
And this is how it
dressed at
is.
best,
Yeah.
you know, because they didn't, you know, I mean, why bother getting dressed?
So this is the picture. You zoom in, you see her right there, little tiny thing. Watch on the next picture.
Oh, yeah.
See her butt, boobs, hair,
Yeah.
shoulders. She's got her arm up, kind of like she's like
Right. Yeah, like maybe she's brushing her hair almost.
or something. Yeah.
No, that's a trip.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that was a cool trip.
Yeah. Not often you get shown boobs from a
No.
dead hooker. That's how
It was, no, it was pretty crazy that night. All right, so we're gonna end the night at the brothel. Wilson, you want to get those things set up?
Oh, did you hear that?
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. It was something over there.
What'd you hear?
It was like
Because he walked up.
Yeah, he walked right by over there a second ago.
just right now. Like it sounded like maybe it was you. I don't know. I'm gonna say it was you. Maybe jump and dodged over there. I have been in here with people doing investigations and stuff like that, and had their voice box respond with my name and different things like that to me. And then the one time it came back really, really demonic, and I was like, oh, that didn't sound nice. That was, you know. And they were like, yeah, are you nice to this lady? And they were like, it was like, sure. Like, okay.
I was doing, like I said, we came down here about a year ago, and then we did the Clown Motel Cemetery,
Right.
and it was just me. I was walking around by myself, and we get to like the middle of like, if you're facing like the Clown Motel,
Right.
the middle of like the backside, and you like, I didn't hear it there, but when I was editing it, and you can hear it in the video now, it's like I'll kill you, or like some shit. It was really creepy, but it was windy as hell. And so, like, when you, like, hear the wind go by, you can hear that in the wind.
Wow.
And I've always heard, too, that, like, you know, spirits travel on the wind and things like that. Like, that was Native American beliefs and whatnot. But it's like, if that is true, and that's what that happened, then that's crazy as shit.
Yeah, that's pretty trippy, yeah. There is in the back of that cemetery, like, if you just walk in the main gate and stand there and you just look straight back at that cemetery, in the back there's a man that will come up, walk across the back of that cemetery, and then he goes down. And
Like, walks down into the ground? Like, or...
Yeah, he just kind of, you know, like just goes back. I don't know, it's just super weird. Like, he, like, almost, like, sits up, walks, and then goes, like, it's, I don't know, and then he's gone. Yeah, and I very first found out about that when I very first got into doing any paranormal investigations. I worked at the mining park up there.
Yeah.
And these people had come in, it was 2011, I think it was, because it was the anniversary of the fire, which was in 1911. So it had to be in 2011. And or was it 1901? Something. Anyway. But so these people had a camera, and he sat out there that night and watched the cemetery, and he got random things, but you could see this ghost come up. This guy, it looks like see-through and clear. And so, because I was, first of all, new, and second of all, I like to kind of try and be a skeptic and be like, I don't know about that. So, because I'm a weirdo, I was like, when they left town and everything, everybody went back in, one night, I was like, I'm going to go down there and see if that's legit, you know? And because of the small town, and I know everybody and everything, I was like, I'm gonna have to sneak down there so everybody doesn't think I'm a weirdo. You know? And so I put on all black, and I like down there, you know. And I just sat there. I got to that cemetery. I got to the main section there. Just stopped right there, and I just squatted down and just watched. And I sat real still and quiet, and I see this orb go. I'm like, it's real. It's legit. And I was like, no way. And then later on, in several years later, some friends of mine, we'd been out partying and drinking and stuff, and my one friend lived right by that cemetery. I'm like, let's go to the cemetery, you guys. So we all went to the cemetery. There's 4 of us, and we're all just walking around and just kind of cruising around and just taking pictures of headstones and stuff. And I firmly believe that people of Hispanic culture and Hispanic descent get better reactions and get pick up more vibe and more energies and more.
Let me stop you right there. So, my buddy Paco here and my buddy Gerardo, whenever we go do this, normally they're together. And I send them together because of that exact reason. The one guy will feel it, and he will be like, where? And he'll point, and he'll take pictures, and all the time he gets the shadows, orbs, like it's...
So, I am whiter than white people, right? I am like...
Me and you both.
3/4 Danish. I'm the first American born on my mom's side of the family. I am a white girl. And my friend who is Hispanic, his family's all from Mexico. His mama lives in Tonopah. She's very much Mexican. And him and I went around. We took the same pictures, the same headstones. I'd have 2, 3 orbs, maybe nothing. His would, you couldn't even read the headstone. It'd be so covered in orbs. And that's when I was convinced that it is everywhere, every single picture we took, his were 10 times stronger, 10 more times, you know, than mine. Sometimes I didn't have anything, and he had like smeared with it. Just, it was crazy. And they were attracted more to him by far. And I've discovered since doing some of this and some of the other tours that I do, and I can only chalk it up to the fact that most white families, I guess you could say, or people who don't come from such a strong cultural background as the Hispanic background, don't get as much, because I think that it's their strong background and their the fact that, you know, they have the Day of the Dead. They were always told, you know, oh hey grandma, I met Uncle so-and-so. Uncle so-and-so's been dead for 20 years, but I see him sometimes too, you know, and your grandma or your mom or your aunt or somebody or your grandpa or whoever, and they all go, oh yeah, I understand, you know. Most white people, my
They
mom
cut
wasn't
that
like
shit
that.
out
Most
right
white
there.
people are like, oh, knock it off.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as go, shut up and go to sleep. You know, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, and I think that because they embrace that, whereas we were always, oh, shut up. Yeah, go to bed. Stop it. You're just trying to make excuses or whatever it is, you know. My family wasn't really like that, but like I feel like most people were told things like that, like, oh, it's not real, stop it. And the Hispanic culture says, oh yeah, me too, you know, and that's what they do, you know, it's because they do embrace it and they do respect it and they do give things like Day of the Dead a whole day of celebration like Halloween is, you know, and stuff. So I think that's why is they embrace it rather than take, oh shut up, it's not real, you know. And I could say that no Hispanic people that I've ever met don't believe in it, in ghosts. And I have white friends that are like, yeah, ghosts so good. Yeah, just what are you doing to these people, you know? And why are you taking their money or something like that? You know, it's like, okay, well I'm telling you what I know and what I see and what I hear and what I feel. So, and I embrace it myself. I think it's great, but not
as you should, as we all should.
And I think that it's kind of naive to think that we shouldn't be able to. Where does your energy go?
Right. That's where my whole theory comes from. The whole energy concept.
Stop energy.
Right.
It has to transfer somewhere else. Then where is it going to go? And if something good, bad, or indifferent, but it was serious to you, why wouldn't you have to stay there a little? You know, that's where I think Elizabeth is stuck in her spot. I know she can't travel around the hotel, and I think she's stuck here in her spot because she's stuck here in her spot, and her energy was stuck.